Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mila, and for 15 years, I've had the privilege of working as a flight attendant, helping passengers navigate the skies. Now, I'm on the ground, ready to share insider tips that can transform what often feels like a stressful process, customs and immigration, into something completely manageable. Just seeing the title, 10 Customs and Immigration Questions, might make your palms sweat or your stomach flip. Even the most careful, law abiding traveler can feel a jolt of nerves walking up to the immigration booth. And you know what? That's normal. It's not an interrogation, even if it feels like one. So, what's the secret? There isn't a magic answer or a hidden code. Customs and immigration officers aren't there to trick you. Their job is simple: verify that your story, documents, and intentions all align. Problems arise when nerves kick in. Over-explaining, joking nervously, or fidgeting can make an innocent traveler look suspicious. A calm, clear, concise approach is all it takes to avoid unnecessary scrutiny. In this video, I'm going to act as your confidence coach. We'll break down the 10 most common questions, explore the real purpose behind them, and show you what counts as a red flag or green light answer. By the end, you'll understand the why behind their questions and be able to respond with calm, confident clarity. Let's start with the first and most important question: the purpose of your visit. Officers are trying to verify if you're a tourist, visiting family, or on business, and if your intentions match your visa. The red flag answer is vague or overcomplicated. Well, I'm here for tourism, but I might visit my friend and stop by my office, not really for work though. Stop. That answer turns a quick interaction into a prolonged secondary screening. The green light answer: be clear and concise. I'm here on vacation, I'm attending a conference, or I'm visiting my sister. One short, specific sentence instantly communicates your purpose. I remember a young passenger heading to London. On board, he casually mentioned he wanted to visit family and also explore potential work opportunities. By the time he reached immigration, he'd spent 3 hours in secondary screening because officers interpreted his answer as a possible violation of his tourist visa. His story was honest, but it wasn't concise or aligned with the purpose of his entry. The lesson is simple: your answer should reflect the primary legal purpose of your trip. The second question is all about duration. How long are you staying? Officers want to confirm that your planned stay matches your purpose and that you have intent to leave. Red flag answers include vague or uncertain responses like a few weeks, maybe a month, we'll see. This signals a lack of return plan. The green light: be precise. 10 days, 2 weeks, or until next Sunday, aligning exactly with your return ticket. I once spoke to a retired gentleman who laughed, saying he'd stay as long as his daughter wanted him. The officer did not laugh. They needed proof he would depart on schedule. Keep it clear, and you'll avoid unnecessary scrutiny. Next, we'll cover question 3, where you'll be staying. Knowing the exact first night address can make or break your entry experience. Now that we've covered the purpose of your visit and the length of your stay, let's dive into the third crucial question: where will you be staying? Officers aren't just being nosy. They want to make sure you have a legitimate, verifiable place for the first night of your trip. This verifies that you're a traveler with a plan, not someone showing up with no ties or no clear destination. A vague answer like, "I'll find a hotel," or "I'm staying with a friend, but I don't have the address," immediately raises red flags. Officers interpret this as unpreparedness, which can lead to extra questioning or even secondary screening. The green light answer is simple, specific, and verifiable. "I'm staying at the Hilton on 5th Avenue," or "I'm staying at my son's house. Here's the address." Having this information printed or easily accessible on your phone removes ambiguity and keeps the interaction quick and professional. I recall a young woman arriving at a busy airport. She had a friend's address tucked deep in an email, but her phone died, leaving her scrambling to recall details. The officer had to pause the line while she retrieved the information, adding unnecessary stress and time. This is completely avoidable if you prepare ahead. Always have a printed copy of your first night accommodation, or at least an easily accessible digital record, ready with your documents. It's just as critical as your passport. The fourth question may feel personal. What is your occupation? It's easy to wonder why this matters. But officers are checking for ties to your home country, proof you have reasons to return. Red flag answers like, "I'm in between jobs," or "I do whatever pays the bills," signal weak ties. Even if it's true, it creates doubt. The green light answer is concise and definitive. I'm a registered nurse, I'm retired, I'm a teacher, or I'm a software engineer. These responses show stability and provide the reassurance officers need that you'll return home. Next, are you traveling alone? This simple yes or no question carries hidden weight. Officers are verifying the truth about your companions. Are you part of a group attempting to bypass regulations? Are you traveling with someone coerced or under duress? The red flag is dishonesty. Saying yes while your partner stands nearby or giving inconsistent answers immediately triggers secondary screening. The green light is straightforward. Yes, I am. Or no, I'm traveling with my husband, while indicating your companions are present. Always approach together if traveling as a family. It confirms your story instantly. I've seen young couples pulled aside for providing conflicting answers, costing them hours of unnecessary stress. Just tell the truth, clearly and confidently. The sixth question: how much currency are you carrying? Officers are assessing two things: whether you're exceeding the legal undeclared limit, typically $10,000 in the US, and whether you have enough funds to support yourself during your stay. Red flag answers are vague, evasive, or exaggerated, like a little, enough, or 20,000 without declaration. The green light is precise. I have $300 in cash and my credit cards, or I'm carrying $1,500, which is fully legal and matches your declaration. I once saw a passenger declare $2,000, but officers discovered $15,000 hidden in envelopes and books. The money itself wasn't illegal, but failing to declare it caused the confiscation of his funds and ended his trip prematurely. Honesty and specificity are crucial. Up next, we'll cover the next four questions: what to declare, food and plant restrictions, farm exposure, and proof of return ticket. These are the ones that often trip up even the most prepared travelers, but with the right approach, they become simple and stress-free. Now that we've covered currency, let's move on to the seventh question. Do you have anything to declare? This is the classic customs question, separate from immigration. It may feel obvious, but this is where many travelers slip up. The real question is whether you're bringing in commercial goods, large gifts, or restricted items that could trigger a duty or inspection. A red flag answer is a quick, unthinking no, especially if your luggage visibly contains multiple new-looking items. Laughing it off with "just my dirty laundry," or pretending it doesn't exist instantly sets off alarms. The green light answer is clear and honest. No, just my personal effects, or yes, I have a few gifts for my family, a bottle of wine and some chocolates. Duty-free allowances are generous, but honesty is key. Lying, even unintentionally, can result in fines and delays. The eighth question is closely related. Are you bringing in any food, plants, meat, or dairy products? This one can cost even innocent travelers money if they underestimate the rules. The officer's concern is real. A tiny agricultural pest could have disastrous consequences for local crops. A red flag is a careless no while carrying a leftover sandwich, an apple, or a snack tucked in your bag. The green light is declaring it: yes, I have a factory-sealed bag of cookies, or no, nothing at all. One simple rule: when in doubt, declare. I remember an elderly woman flying into Australia who had a single apple from her in-flight breakfast. She marked no on the form. A sniffer dog quickly picked it up, and she was fined $400. She wasn't a criminal, she was just uninformed. Declaration removes all risk. The ninth question is a biosecurity check. Have you visited a farm or been near livestock recently? The real concern is whether your shoes or belongings could carry soil or bacteria that threaten crops or animals. A red flag is uncertainty, hesitation, or a vague answer. The green light is a simple yes or no. Yes, I was on a farm in Ireland 2 days ago is fine. Officers might check your shoes and clean them if necessary. Lying, however, can lead to penalties, especially if your boots are visibly dirty. I've seen hikers returning from South America stopped because of mud and manure on their shoes. Truth is always faster and safer. Finally, the 10th question: can I see your return ticket? This is the ultimate test. By now, officers know your purpose, your duration, and where you'll be staying. They just need proof that you'll leave the country. The red flag is a vague, hesitant, or non-existent answer. I'll buy it later. It's on my phone, which is dead, or I'm flexible. This confirms suspicions about weak ties or lack of plans and can lead to secondary screening for hours. The green light is simple and concrete. Yes, here is a printed copy. Or, I have my return ticket in my email. Always have a backup printed copy in case technology fails. One man I saw landed safely, but his phone shattered during turbulence, and he had no printed documents. Despite being a perfectly legitimate tourist, he was detained for hours because he couldn't provide proof. The overarching lesson from these 10 questions is straightforward: clarity, brevity, and consistency. Your answers should be honest, concise, and aligned with your documents and intentions. Avoid over-explaining or trying to tell your life story. Each response should tell a simple, consistent narrative, one that proves you are a legitimate visitor, prepared and responsible. With these strategies, even nervous travelers can move confidently through immigration and customs without delays or unnecessary stress. By now, you've mastered the basics: purpose of visit, length of stay, accommodation, occupation, companions, currency, declarations, food, farm exposure, and proof of return ticket. But understanding the underlying principles is just as important as knowing the answers themselves. The key is that immigration and customs aren't designed to trick you. They are verification systems. Officers are trained to detect inconsistencies, not to interrogate. Nervous behavior can create red flags even when your story is completely legitimate. Over-explaining, joking nervously, or offering speculative intentions can trigger unnecessary scrutiny. By staying calm, concise, and consistent, you drastically reduce the chance of secondary screening. One of the most overlooked aspects of this process is preparation. Having your documents organized and accessible is crucial. Passport, visa, return ticket, hotel information, and proof of funds should all be in one easy-to-reach location. Travelers often store this information on their phones without backups. That's risky. Phones die, emails are inaccessible, or apps crash. Always carry a printed copy of critical documents. I've seen perfectly honest passengers detained simply because they couldn't produce proof at the moment it was requested. A quick printed backup can save hours of stress and prevent misunderstandings. Another subtle but powerful tool is the ability to remain composed under pressure. Immigration lines are stressful, long, and crowded. Officers can sense anxiety, and it's natural to feel a little intimidated. However, body language, eye contact, and a calm demeanor communicate confidence and credibility. I've observed countless passengers who simply appeared relaxed and organized pass quickly, while equally qualified travelers who fidgeted, hesitated, or overshared faced delays. Being calm isn't just polite, it's strategic. Consider the timing of your responses. When officers ask about travel companions or your occupation, they're not expecting a narrative. They want clear, factual information. The difference between a smooth clearance and a secondary screening often comes down to how quickly and confidently you answer. For example, a passenger traveling with family should present themselves together. Answering separately or inconsistently can make the officers question the truth of your story. A simple gesture, pointing to a spouse or child, or including them in your verbal answer, can instantly clarify the situation. Similarly, being proactive about declaring items or food is critical. Customs violations are rarely about intent. They're about transparency. Officers aren't trying to penalize casual travelers. They simply need accurate information. Declaring even small items like snacks or gifts prevents confusion, fines, or unnecessary delays. I recall a senior passenger fined for a single apple she forgot to declare. She was honest and careful otherwise, yet a tiny oversight caused a $400 penalty. If she had declared it, the interaction would have been quick and unremarkable. Transparency eliminates stress. Finally, understanding the why behind each question empowers you to answer effectively. Officers aren't interrogating, they are confirming consistency. Each question, purpose, duration, accommodation, occupation, companions, currency, declarations, food, biosecurity, and return ticket, is a piece of the puzzle. Your answers, when clear, concise, and consistent, form a coherent story that reassures officers of your legitimacy. By approaching customs and immigration with preparation, clarity, composure, and honesty, even the most anxious traveler can pass through efficiently. It's not about tricking the system. It's about understanding it, respecting it, and presenting yourself in the way the officers expect. The result is confidence, less stress, and a smoother start to any international trip. Even with all the preparation in the world, international travel can throw unexpected challenges at you, especially for senior travelers. One of the most common stress points is the moment of arrival at immigration and customs, when lines are long, officers are busy, and nerves are high. The key to handling this is understanding that your behavior and clarity are just as important as your documents. Calm, concise answers paired with organized documentation communicate credibility immediately. Officers are looking for consistency. Your story, your visa, your ticket, and your answers all need to line up. If they do, the process is fast and painless. If not, even small inconsistencies can trigger secondary checks, creating unnecessary stress. Another challenge is staying honest and precise about what you're bringing into the country. Declaring gifts, currency, or food might feel tedious, but it prevents serious delays. For instance, many travelers underestimate the rules about agricultural products. A single piece of fruit or a snack can become a problem if it's not declared. I've seen travelers fined simply for forgetting to mention a small item. The lesson here is simple. When in doubt, declare it. Officers aren't looking to penalize responsible travelers, they want accurate information. Declaring items protects you, prevents fines, and keeps your arrival smooth. Senior travelers also need to anticipate follow-up questions about ties to home. Occupation, family, property, or retirement status helps officers see that you have reasons to return home. Vagueness, joking, or over-explaining can create doubt. A retired traveler might simply state, "I'm retired, visiting my daughter for 2 weeks," while a professional could say, "I'm a nurse on vacation for 10 days, here's my return ticket." Clear, concise answers prevent misunderstandings and make the officer's job easier, which in turn makes your experience easier. Finally, small but critical details matter, such as having your first night accommodation accessible, your return ticket printed, and knowing exactly who you're traveling with. Even simple gestures, like traveling together as a family and indicating your companions, prevent confusion. Officers see and appreciate organization, honesty, and composure. These qualities reduce delays and ensure you move through immigration efficiently. The underlying principle is always the same: preparation, clarity, honesty, and calmness. By mastering these elements, even a stressful customs or immigration process can become straightforward. You'll walk up to the booth confident, answer questions clearly, and avoid unnecessary scrutiny. Traveling internationally doesn't have to be anxiety-inducing. With these tools, you can navigate the system like a seasoned pro. The final piece of the puzzle is proof of your return journey, the question that often feels like the final boss at immigration. Officers have already established your purpose, your duration, your accommodation, and your ties to home. Now they simply want confirmation that you plan to leave the country as stated. A vague or incomplete answer like, "I'll buy a ticket later," or "It's on my phone, but it's dead," is the fastest way to trigger secondary screening. The green light answer is clear, immediate, and verifiable. "Yes, here's my printed return ticket," or "It's in my email, I can show it right now." Always have a backup printed copy because phones fail, emails glitch, and technology can't be relied on in every moment. I've seen legitimate travelers detained for hours simply because their phone died and they couldn't show proof of departure. It's a reminder that preparation beats luck every time. Looking at the bigger picture, the key to breezing through customs and immigration is consistency. Clarity, brevity, and honesty are your best tools. Every answer should tell a simple, consistent story. Your purpose matches your visa, your duration matches your return ticket, your accommodation is verifiable, and your belongings are properly declared. Over-explaining or volunteering extra information, even if truthful, can backfire and create confusion. Officers are trained to detect inconsistencies, and even innocent nervousness can look suspicious. By keeping your answers straightforward, you make their job easier and your journey faster and less stressful. The beauty of mastering these 10 questions is that confidence compounds. Once you know how to answer clearly and consistently, you can navigate the booth like a pro. Even if you're a nervous traveler, preparation gives you an edge. With documents organized, accommodation details ready, companions identified, and honesty maintained in every declaration, You are no longer at the mercy of anxiety or chance. You are in control. International travel doesn't have to be intimidating, even for first-time visitors or senior travelers. By understanding the purpose behind each question, preparing your documentation, and responding with calm confidence, you can transform what often feels like a daunting checkpoint into a smooth, professional experience. The system is not there to trick you, it's there to verify. When you respect it and when you show clarity and consistency, you move through it effortlessly. So, the next time you approach customs or immigration, remember the golden rules. Be prepared, be concise, and tell the truth. Organize your documents, have your accommodation and return ticket accessible, and answer every question with calm confidence. You're not just a traveler, you're a professional navigating the system with ease. I hope these insights give you confidence and make your next international trip smoother, safer, and more enjoyable. Fly smart, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the skies.